What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros. Sam here with the Sultan of Sando, Mr. Gablim, and the Prophet himself, Mr. Mawiyap. What's up, guys? We had three close games today sa Asiabasket quarterfinals. We're going to talk about all three close games today.
I am all basketballed out today.
Napanood mo lahat?
Grabe.
Tama ba, Gab? Napanood mo
5
lahat?
games, including
Pati
the
yung
game 3 of
Beda?
Spurs Thunder.
Oo, nga pala. May
Yung
Spurs
sa
Thunder pa
Beda,
pala.
yung sa Beda Letran, medyo nag-break ako eh. Took my coffee, sabi ko. Pero nung fourth quarter,
Pero close game.
until overtime, crazy ng game na yun.
Close game.
Lahat. So,
Yan ang games.
Yan ang games. Thank you,
Today.
NSAC. Pero
Thank you,
sobrang wasak na
NSAC.
yung utak ko from watching basketball today.
Well, it's time for you to decompress. Kasi admittedly, I didn't get to watch the games today. I was out the whole day. But fortunately, I have the Sultan of Sando and the Prophet here to explain the games to me today. So let's go over some of the UAAP games.
Yung naman namin lang, hiya ka.
Let's go over some of the UAAP games. Saan mo gusto mag-umpisa, Gab? Sige, because napanood mo lahat. Where do you want to go? They're all close games.
Let's go by order.
Let's go with UP versus NU first.
Yeah, the UP versus NU game.
NU upsetting UP?
Yeah, I think this qualifies as an upset. NU and as a revenge game because a couple of days ago in Phil Oil, UP beat NU. So
Oh nga pala, no? Oh nga.
UP
Completely
beat
forgot
NU,
about that.
a couple of days ago and a quick turnaround and you got revenge on the UP Fighting Maroons. First half, completely different from the second half. I think UP just played ugly, and it showed on the box score. I think it was 42-27 at halftime. UP missed 12 free throws in the first half. They were 10 of 22. They committed 13 out of their 20 turnovers in the first half. Albeit there's a lot of experimenting going on in the first half from Coach Gold. He played 3 FSAs, all 3 of his FSAs in the first half. I mean, he was just trying out lineups. He played Josh Coronel in the first half. I think that's when you know he's really experimenting. He's getting one of his deep bench warmers. But in the second half, I kind of expected na Coach Gold would tighten up the rotation. UP would pick up the pressure, just put more on-ball pressure, put more pressure on the passing lanes. UP is a third-quarter team, diba? This is something that has been true for the past how many seasons. After halftime, they sort of turn on the jets. Diba? The switch is on and they're now in winning mode. So I wanted to see how NU would react. Diba? This is an entirely new look NU team, albeit there's still a lot of veterans, but also a lot of veterans who are getting big minutes for the first time and who are now placed into roles on this team that were not there before. So I wanted to see how they would react. And true enough, after halftime, Coach Gold tightened the rotation, ran a lot through Noire Mogat. He was awesome.
Grabe.
By the way, I think he didn't have a field goal in the entire first half. And then in the second half, just decided, yeah, it's time to go. And UP just cut the lead slowly, basket by basket, possession by possession, turning up that defense. But kudos to NU answering the call. I think if you're an NU fan or if you're an NU alumnus, this is a good preview of how they're going to operate in the season. Now, there are a lot of the guys who weren't here in this game. Si Makmak Alfanta, who has been getting a lot of minutes, was not here. So, but a lot of the main guys were here. And if you watch NU over the past few weeks, they have tightened up their rotation as well. Diba? And early in the preseason, ang dami mga bench guys. The lineups were all over the place. Clearly, a lot of experimentation was going on. But now in the last couple of games, you see sort of their form. Diba? Their form and their rotation coming into UAP season 89. And a lot of that has to revolve around Reinhard Humamoy. Hashtag, I'm shortening the hashtag. Hashtag free reign. Free reign for N this season.
Free
Because
reign. I love that hashtag. Shout out sa mga anime lovers. Free reign. Check it out if you haven't yet.
hashtag free reign because he was awesome in the past couple of games. And he's clearly the number one or 1B option on this team. A lot of the offense just goes through him. And he now has the longest of leashes from Coach Jeff Napa. He whatever mistake
Finally.
diba? He can launch his Steph Curry threes. He can make his flashy passes. They sometimes won't hit, but he won't get pulled off the court. I think Coach Jeff Napa is now leaning into Reinhard Umamoy as his number one or now yung number 1A/1B option because their other option is PJ Palacelo. And they went a lot to PJ Palacelo in this game. He didn't shoot well. I think he missed 12 shots. He was 6 out of 18 from the field or 5 out of 18 or something like that. Did not shoot the ball well, but got to the free throw line, got his points, got his rebounds. He was there in crunch time, finishing the game. So I think those two guys, that 1-2 punch is going to be what NU is going to rely on, along with Tebol Garcia coming off the bench. Because, wow, what a spitfire you Tebol Garcia is you coming off the bench. In fairness to NU, and this guard-heavy lineup that they have, they get a lot of paint touches. Humamoy, Garcia, and even si Dwayne Miranda, who's functioning as their third point guard here in the preseason, they can get into the paint because they're that quick, they're that crafty, and when they get into the paint, they can either get easy baskets, layups, they can spray it out to shooters, which benefited a lot from si Insan, Maui, si Paul Francisco. Again, had a really good game. Si Paul Francisco, underrated because,
Season legend.
Asiabasket legend, si Paul Francisco, diba? He's not that quick, he's not that athletic, but he can shoot, and that makes him very valuable.
He's the best shooter on the team.
Yeah, he is. And that nucleus of Francisco, Garcia, Humamoy, and Palacelo, I think, are going to be the carry heroes of this NU team come UAP season 89. A lot of the offense, a lot of the scoring is going to come from them. And you saw that in this game. I was just so impressed by Tebol because kahit sino yung bantay niya, either si Payosing, si Remogat, si Baila, he was just blowing by every single one of them. And then blowing by and then getting to the rim, paint touch after paint touch, either getting a layup. He got a really key end one layup when UP, I think, cut the lead to less than 10. Humamoy got a lot of floaters and easy baskets. Paul Francisco hit some key threes. Si PJ Palacelo yung hit some threes. So those four guys, I think, are going to be that nucleus for NU. On the UP side, that second half was good, but you hated that last play. I'm sure you hated that last play. Maui,
Worse than the Ateneo last play.
We'll talk about that later kung sino yung worse. But yeah, I mean, they didn't even get a shot off. I mean, Remogat had the ball. He gave it up. And kudos, I think it was Tebol or si Humamoy. Did a good job of denying Remogat the ball back. And if you're Jacob Baila, come on, just take the shot. There was, 4 seconds left on the game clock. The ball went to you. Make a play. You gave it up to Gary Stevens on the 3-point line. Are you kidding me, Jacob Baila? Have some balls. Take the shot. Remogat was trapped. He gave up the ball. It went to you. Take the shot. It's 4 seconds left. What are you gonna do? Not even take a shot. Make a play. Do something. Frustrating end. It was a good comeback for the UP Fighting Maroons. Fell short. They will look back at that first half and the game. Actually, their free throws and their turnovers. 20 turnovers is crazy, and They gave up a lot of key offensive rebounds. Even though they had more rebounds in this game, a lot of the key offensive rebounds were had by the NU Bulldogs. And they out-hustled the UP Fighting Maroons for majority of this game. So, UP, the runners-up in the UAAP Season 88 is out. And it's NU versus San Beda the next round. Great game though. Second half, great game.
Maui. Grabe, down 21 pala yung UP, no? At one point.
They were playing that bad. So,
Very bad. The first half.
13 turnovers in the first half is just outrageous.
I would even say they were playing bad the whole game. Outside of Remogat really getting hot. The second half. This is not the UP basketball. The 20 turnovers was a big back scratcher. Letting Humamoy, Dwayne Miranda, and Garcia easily getting into the paint. That's not UP basketball. UP basketball is perimeter defense. And I think that's one of the keys of the game. Another one is, I think what I was most impressed was only 12 turnovers by NU. Di ba? I think you praised Tamuamoy, you praised Garcia. They only had 4 turnovers. And they played 29 minutes and 21 minutes. I was gonna say, nako, baka sabihin na naman na underdog ang UP, but I really thought that this game was an upset. UP...
We're gonna go there again?
UP showed the second half, diba, that they were clearly the better team. But this NU team, you cannot put them lightly. I think Palacios gonna have a big year. I love how he has stretched his game to the outside. I love how aggressive he is. Diba? He's shooting turnaround jumpers. He's shooting 3-pointers off the dribble. He's driving the ball. I think this is peak PJ Palacielo in the UAAP, and it bodes very well into his pro chances, diba? Stretching his game to the outside. I was a bit concerned because he looks so big, too big, in my opinion. But I think yung speed, he didn't lose the speed. So yeah, and you played a pretty good game. I think they have a lot of upside. Remember, si Diasana did not even score a single basket during this game. Si Diasana is still finding his footing. Diasana is still trying to get healthy.
That's
getting
true.
his basketball conditioning in. So yeah, I think a lot of people have underestimated how this NU team could be this year, including me. Diba? Early in the preseason, they look lost. You didn't know where they were going, but I think yung huge part of why they're starting to play pretty well is si Tebol Garcia and Dumamoy. I think that two-headed point guard monsters have done a pretty good job of setting up this offense and also balancing playmaking with scoring. I think si Paul Garcia is also starting to play better. I think this is his best. Paul Francisco. Insan is playing a lot better. I think that has really helped because NU needs more scorers. That's something that they definitely lack coming to next season. But I like how they play basketball. They play hard. I think that's something that you can attribute really to Coach Jeff. His team always plays hard. His team always plays the right way. If they can continue to limit the turnovers, if they can get the Sana going, this team could be a dangerous team come next season. For UP, this is just a blimp in the radar. To be honest, they're still much like Salle, who was almost beaten by FEU, almost another upset, which we'll talk about later. Salle and UP, I think, are still the favorites come season 89. Remogat was fantastic. That second half was Trae Young-esque.
I do want to say, shout out sa NU, shout out kay Coach Jeff Napa, because just like Maui, I was one of the people that definitely underestimated them. I was actually, before the games today, I was preparing na in case manalo FEU. Let's say, I was going to prepare, is NU in danger of not making it to the Final Four because FEU has gotten better? Ateneo has sort of loaded up. UST has still been solid. They still have Collins Akowe, who could be an MVP contender. So I was really worried about NU. And like what you said, Maui, and you looked really bad. You guys watched the start of Asiabasket and you looked really bad. And if you watch those games, a ton of the main guys weren't playing, or maybe he would play, let's say, Humamoy but not Palasielo, or Palasielo but not Garcia, or whatever. But now that we're seeing them play with a tighter rotation, as to what Gab said, they've looked really good. And I've honestly, I'm surprised. I'm surprised they're this good after losing a ton of their main rotation guys from last year. Figueroa, Steve Nash. They lost Omar John unexpectedly. Isa pa yun, di ba? We were so caught off guard when we heard that Omar John wasn't going to come back to NU. So I was really ready to count this team out of the Final Four contention, but look, sila pa yung naka-upset, and they beat, I think, one of the top two teams right now in the UAAP in UP. And Ateneo and FEU, I would say, the two teams that have loaded up the most this offseason so far are out. So, shout out to Coach Jeff. Shout out to the NU boys, as Gab said. They play hard all the time. The two timelines have worked, I think, because a lot of the guys that were playing maybe perhaps in the shadow of their kuyas in Jake Figueroa, Joloman and Salle, Steve Nash, those guys are shining now. So maybe we'll hear more about Tebol Garcia as a most improved player when it comes to the upcoming UAAP season. We'll see. But this NU team has been very intriguing to me, especially the past few games. They might make it to the finals. They're going up against San Beda, which is also a good team, but they have a chance to make it to the Asiabasket finals. For UP, I don't think people have to panic. Is it time to panic for UP, Gab? Hindi naman, di ba? This is just a
Definitely
blip.
not. Definitely not.
Okay, so close game. First game. Let's move on to the next game. Ateneo versus... Ay, okay. Akala ko may
No.
tapos ka na. Go, go, go.
Hindi, Maui mentioned the Garcia Humamoy, that how good it looked and how dynamic offensively it looked. I was clamoring for this for 2 straight seasons, and finally it's here. Diba? If you recall, as way back as season 87, they have to play Garcia and Humamoy together because they just don't have enough offense on the floor. And now finally we're seeing them play together, and ganda because umiikot yung bola. There are two guys who can make plays. You bring the ball to Humamoy on one end of the floor. He'll work his pick and roll magic. It won't work. Swing it to Tebol Garcia on the other end, and he'll attack a closeout with his quick first step. He can get into the paint. Ang ganda because the ball just zooms around the court, and if nothing else, you can go to PJ in the post, and he can manhandle anyone in the post with his boy body. So offensively, they look better. They definitely look better. I love that there's always shooting on the floor now for NU. That has been a problem in the past. Reinhard Mamoy is unafraid to launch those long-range threes, those 30-footers. So at the very least, they're gonna shoot more threes. And see, with Paul Francisco there, it looks good. It looks good right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, let's move on. UST versus Ateneo. UST edging Ateneo this time. Maasim mukha ni Maui. Let's go with Maui. Take me through this game, Maui. And ano nangyari? Ano nangyari sa Ateneo, especially that last play?
Yeah. Actually, maganda naman yung game. The whole game was really back and forth. The lead wasn't really big. Both teams were competitive. Both teams were experimenting. I thought si Akowe really started the game with a bang, with a lot of energy. I love how si Mark Lemit continues to defy expectations. Si Gab has been telling us since last off-season that Mark Lemit can handle a bigger load. And it looks like it's coming into fruition. Coach Pido has decided not to get him off the bench, just play him a lot of minutes. I think he will. The thing that he has to work on a lot, which I noticed the game a while ago, is to try to lessen yung fouls niya, because we will have to guard the best player of the other team. That's how dynamic and versatile and important si Mark Clement to this team. Probably as important as Colin Sakoe, in my opinion, because without him, UST really lacks a ball creator. But of course, Jello Crisostomo chose the Ateneo game to have one of his most complete off-season games. Of course.
Yun yung one takeaway ko din dyan eh. Anyway, go ahead.
He was all over the court on both ends of the floor. He had 11 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. I think Ateneo has to find ways better to get Shantuano involved. Shantuano cannot get 3 shots in a game if Ateneo wants to win. I think they have to get him going. I think Shantuano has to get at least 10 shots and maybe average over double digits. But si Jared Bahay played a pretty good game. Even si Kiefer Alas had a good game. Of course, si Kyle Gamber showed out in Asiabasket. This guy is probably
Asiabasket legend, Kyle Gamber. Let's go.
That should be his nickname.
I think si Kyle Gamber probably leads the Asiabasket in 3-point percentage history. That's how crazy he has been. And I think he's playing pretty well. That I probably bet, hopefully I'm not wrong this time, I probably bet that he's probably gonna be surefire part of the rotation for this season just because of his outside shooting. I think Adili has to settle down, especially when he goes up against Sakoe. Espina also played a pretty good game. Bongo for once was hitting his corner 3-point shots. Maybe that was why I was optimistic for Ateneo this game. But yeah, I really love how UST played hard. So many rebounds, so many offensive rebounds, especially down the stretch. I think that really killed the chances of Ateneo to get back into the game, despite having a pretty solid, despite taking care of the ball pretty solid. Only 11 turnovers against a team that you don't want to turn the ball over and forcing UST to 18 turnovers. This was pretty winnable. Kaya ganun mukha ako. I really think that Ateneo could have won this game. Will the Ateneo UST games always be like this? Gabi and I will always remember that triple overtime game in Blue Eagle Gym. But exciting game. I think that's something that we were so lucky to have today. Despite needing to watch so many games, this was one of the most exciting games. Ateneo also, much like UP, choke in that last play, failing to be able to get a shot off. Credits to the UST defense.
So Maui, let's answer the question that Sammy asked. Who had the worst last play? UP or Ateneo?
Well, as an Ateneo fan, I would say Ateneo because they turned the ball over. I think UP just wanted to really get Remog at the ball. Ateneo couldn't really execute the play during that last play. Unfortunately, UST was able to force that turnover. Very bad end by Ateneo. Even that Akoe open layup off an offensive rebound by Crisostomo was really a backbreaker for Ateneo.
I think 3 offensive rebounds.
3 offensive rebounds. That was multiple offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to answer your question, Sam, I agree with Maui. I think Ateneo had the worst last play. One, they came off a timeout. UP did not come off a timeout. So the play was set. And it went to the person that UST wanted the ball to, which was Divine Adili, because
Divine Adili.
I had no idea why Divine Adili was in that game, in that possession, in that play, in the final possession of the game. I thought they should have gone with Kiefer Alas. I have no idea why Kiefer Alas was not there after having a good spring game. I thought they needed to get the 3, so they needed to go small. And if Colin Sakoe is guarding you, you can outrun him easily. You're faster. So I'll get to that later. My criticism of Coach Tab. He has not been cooking with his final lineups in the 2 losses here in NSAC. And that is one of it. I have no idea why Divine Adili was there at that moment. I thought that they should have gone small. They should have gone with all shooters and should have taken advantage of a slower Collins Acoy there on defense. Because let's face it, Collins Acoy was not gonna guard the perimeter. It's not that light-footed to guard the perimeter. I would have wanted to see another shooter there, another guard, just to get a three off because he needed a three. And yeah, it was all in a turnover. Yeah, but for this game, I think if you're an Ateneo fan, or even if you're not an Atenista and you just want to watch Ateneo basketball, you gotta expect more of this type of basketball for the Blue Eagles, wherein they will hit and shoot a lot of threes because they are small. They hit more than twice as many threes as the UST Growling Tigers. I think they hit 15 in total. UST only hit 7. That's how they stayed in the game with all the threes that they were hitting. Grayson Rogers even came off the bench in the fourth quarter and hit 2 big threes.
Naging magic
Just
hugot.
Biglang nabuhay no? Because of
he was even playing
Rogers.
for majority of the game and they came in and hit 2 threes. Crazy. So, yeah, 15 threes for Ateneo, 7 for UST, but you look at UST on the other end, they shot nearly 50% from 2-point. They shot nearly 50% from the field, over 60% from 2-point range. This is how Ateneo is going to play, especially against a team like UST who has a big Collins Acoy. They're going to give up a lot of 2-point baskets. I think they have 48 points in the paint versus Ateneo's 26. They just lack rim protection. Divine Adili is not a rim protector. He's already an undersized FSA, and he doesn't jump that high. He's not that long. This is how Ateneo is going to play, and perhaps you're gonna try to expect a lot of close games for Ateneo because they cannot stop paint points, but they're gonna try to outmath other teams by shooting a lot of threes, by running and getting a lot of points in transition. And this is a clear example of it. On the bright side, you like that they're still running through a system. I think they had 20. How many? I think they had 29 field goals. 24 of them were assisted. That's pretty good. So at least they're still running through it. Yung running through they still have a system. They're still spreading the basketball. But yeah, in the end, they have to pray that they have enough rim protection, enough foot speed to get to front people, so that they can prevent paint points. They can prevent a lot of easy baskets on the other end. And they have to pray that they hit their threes because that's the way that they're gonna win. They have to hit threes. They have to drive and get to the basket. They have to force turnovers and get transition baskets. That's the Ateneo that we're gonna be used to seeing in the coming months, especially with how their lineup is constructed. For UST, siguro one note, we finally saw from one of the point guards who I really like, si Kirk Cañete. If you guys are unfamiliar, he's from the UST Tiger Cubs, their high school basketball team, their boys basketball team. Was one of the main scorers for this past season. And I said this earlier on when I watched Donovan Sevilla. I don't think he's locking up that point guard slot. He might be the oldest and it's a one and done. He hasn't been that good. Or he hasn't been far away the most impressive point guard on this team. And Kirk Cañete showed something to me today. He can hit the outside shot. He was a lot calmer. He was a lot more steady as a point guard. He definitely is more aggressive to look for his shot. So maybe there's something there. I mean, he had a pretty good game. Yung had 9 points, was there in crunch time. Made the big steal, I think, in that final play. So if you're a UST Growling Tiger, if you're Donovan Sevilla, you better step up your game because I think Kirk Cañete, who's been serving as his backup, might actually come for his minutes. So that's something to watch. Mark Liemet was awesome. Again, that's how many 20 plus point games now is that straight? I think he had 20
Crazy.
20 plus in their loss against UP. I think he had 20 plus also in their close loss to Salle a couple of days ago. So he's pouring it on. This is what sabi nga ni Maui, this is what I've been telling you guys last season. When Caballero and Padriga were out of the lineup, it was the Mark Liemet show. And it's now the Mark Liemet show. And he's now, I think, next to Kowe, the Co-King Tigers. Si Collins will dominate the inside, and if you need plays to be run in the perimeter, it's going to be through Mark Liemet. Jan Bahay played a game. What else can I say? I think he's gone up a different level over Ian Espinosa. Last season, you could see na medyo magkalapit yung pasele na walang fall off in play yung Ateneo whenever Ian Espinosa would come in, sub in for Jared Bahay. Now, Ian Espinosa is still pretty capable, but I think the gap has widened between him and JB. And Jared Bahay is a lot. It seems like the game is slowing down for him. He's reading the game better. He's using the chances on the offensive end, the angles, the shooting opportunities. He's a lot smarter. So I'm looking forward to how he and Kiefer Alas will be working together in the next couple of games. They still have, I think, 7 games in Phil Oil remaining, so we're gonna have to watch for that. Yun lang naman. Sammy, go ahead.
Yeah, just wanted to say, nabanggit ni Maui si Jello Crisostomo. For some reason, every time he plays against Ateneo, he plays his best game. I think yung takeaway ko din doon, why he plays really well against Ateneo. Ateneo is always like smaller than UST. So, especially now that he has Collins with him, they can easily out-rebound Ateneo. And I think that was one of the main issues in the game today, especially during crunch time. I felt like there were a ton of offensive rebounds for UST. Ateneo just could not get the ball, and na-mention nga ni Maui yung play kay Akoy na open under the basket. I think it's been like this the past few years. That's why Jello Crisostomo loves playing against Ateneo because he's a lot bigger than most of the Ateneo guys. He can easily out-rebound them, especially with Collins Akowe there also, diba? So I think that's the issue for me for Ateneo. They're still going to be small this year. So if you match up against a big team like UST, where you have like Akowe and Crisostomo, both really good rebounders, it's a bit tougher, but at least it's a close game. It was a close game, I guess. I was shocked that Shantuanyo, Gab, when you mentioned, or Maui, when you mentioned Shantuanyo only took 3 shots. Nagulat ako. I checked the box score. Oh nga, no? Played 20 minutes, only took 3 shots. So, he probably needs to get more touches or opportunities for Ateneo to win. Yeah, si Grayson Rogers, shout out. Si Roberts daw naglaro, tama ba? Did he even play?
Minimal minutes.
Minimal minutes. But I think they're gonna need him because he has size. And this team lacks it. So he's probably gonna be in the rotation at least.
Nice.
I think what's crazy about Tuano only not scoring a lot is Ateneo scored 80 points. And I think yung best game niya last season was probably the UST game. So yeah, I would expect him to bounce back. This is probably his worst game in the preseason.
Siguro pagod from 3-on-3. I know they just played 3-on-3, right? So baka pagod.
That was like a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
Oo nga, masyado siyang na-focus sa 3-on-3. I don't know. We'll see.
If
Gab.
if anything, this is gonna be a staple for Ateneo. They are gonna score a lot. They are gonna put up points on the board, which is incredibly new for this Ateneo team. Na they can easily get to 80, 90 points. I don't think I've seen them go under 80 so far in the preseason. So that's something. With their style of play, with their up-tempo, small ball offense, they are going to score a lot. Now, whether they can muster enough defense to win games, that's going to be the key. And especially interior defense. That's going to be the key because I think they can defend the perimeter, they can fly around but once it gets to the paint, they are small, so they're going to have to prevent that. So that's going to be the key for the Blue Eagles this season. Mark my words. Just
Sorry.
some notes. Oh, go lang.
Sorry, just wanted to add kasi you talked about yung last play kanina ng Ateneo, how it was frustrating because it came from a timeout. Naalala ko lang, right after the timeout, yung courtside announcer was like, the commentator was like, let's see what Coach Tab came up with this play because he's a very cerebral coach. May mga ganun pa siya sinasabi. I was like, this is gonna be a turnover. This is like kinurse na nung
Actually,
commentator yung ano.
Actually, Sammy, the play was okay.
Yeah.
The problem was Divine Adili was in the game.
Was there? Yeah. I know. That's my point. Like, sabi ko, baka ma-turnover ito. Minalas ata nung commentator kasi binanggit na niya.
I think
go,
props
Maui.
props din to Coach Pido for putting Crisostomo as the guy defending the inbounder. I think si Espinosa yung
Si Espinosa yung nag-inbound. So Crisostomo
guy
sa
inbound
Lego.
Diba?
Maui, and yung Coach Pido was shouting those instructions, and they denied Bahay yung coming off the pick. They denied Gamber, and they denied Espina. I think it was Waki. It was Waki. So they denied the 4 shooters. They let Divine Adili get the ball.
Should have been
That-
It also helped na there was some stoppage kasi they had to wipe the floor. And then I saw like si Coach Pido nga sumisigaw siya, binubulungan na niya yung guy. So I think that also helped. So kudos to Coach Pido.
Talking about wiping the floor, I just gotta give, if we're doing ballers and boleros, the mop dude on the Ateneo side of the basket, or yung of the floor, I think, or the UST one, the UST basket, I think forgot to mop in 2 or 3 straight possessions. Collins Akowi fell on the floor underneath the basket, so there was a wet spot. It went back to Ateneo on the other end. Then I think UST got a fast break opportunity, a Mark Liemit layup. Sultan Baru slipped and committed a foul. And you can see it from the screen that there was a wet spot. So the mob dude didn't try to
Buti na lang, walang
wipe
injury.
it. Diba?
Buti na lang nga.
There were 2 guys, si Barua and si I think it was Espinosa, si Ian who tumbled over.
Grabe yung kay Barua kasi talagang parang Michael Jackson na moonwalk or
And it
something.
happened twice. So the mop dude forgot to mop twice. I think he was zoning out or
Delikado.
I don't know, baka wala sa weekend pay or something like that. Kaya di siya masyadong
Hindi
siya job. But
Hindi sanay yun kasi di naman sanay may games, di ba? In that arena.
baka.
Hindi, yun, home court advantage ng Lasal yun. Pag pag Atenista, mas madulas. Ganun.
Gago, hindi naman siguro.
Hindi, joke lang.
Sorry for the profanity.
Mapili, no? Pinipili yung player na
Yeah, but that was a dangerous play and crazy it happened twice. Sultan Barua slipped wildly twice.
Grabe yung kay Barua. That was like a crazy slip.
The dude forgot to mop the floor twice. And that's crazy. Speaking of Sultan Barua, I like how he played. I think he played better than Divine Adili. Defended Akawi better than Divine Adili, which is saying something.
Bigger.
I think he's a skinnier. He's the skinnier of the two. But there was a play that Colin Sakoe clearly hooked him and got a dunk. And got a dunk, diba? Then Sultan
Chicken
Barua
wing
siya.
siya eh, no?
Oh, yung napapa siya. But kudos to him. Went back on the other end of the
Gusto
floor.
bumawi.
Went Colin Sakoe. Got a foul and made 2 free throws. Siguro sabi ni Sultan, you can dunk on buyang kita on the other end. So, in fairness to him, he's still a bit raw, but you like the energy, you like the competitiveness, you like the fire of Sultan Barua, and he's kind of a hothead too. I've seen him fight in more games than not this season. I think he came up from a game the other day against NU in the U-Belt Collegiate, and he was fighting also in that game. So,
Kaya siya natatanggal madalas eh. Like, they have to bring him back to the bench to cool him down. Kasi medyo umiinit din ulo niya.
Umiinit yung ulo niya. But kudos to him. I like his energy. In contrast to Divine Adili, who's more of a steady, slow it down kind of big. Si Sultan is a lot more mobile, a lot more athletic. He's faster and brings a lot more of that energy. So I don't know. Maybe you'll see some game the upcoming season where Stab would go with Sultan Barua because he's the better defender of the two. He's the one who is more active on the boards and can run the floor better than Divine Adili. Just something to watch. Yun lang naman. What else did I see in this game? Nothing much else. I think that's it.
Okay, moving on. Let's move on to the last game. Salle versus FEU. First look at the FEU team with a ton of their recruits. FEU losing by 1 point on a controversial play, I would say. Gab, take us through this game and what happened at the end.
I don't think controversial is the right.
Sorry, not the right word.
Brain fog.
Controversial.
Brain fart lang.
Yeah. A brain fart / dumb play by Mo Konate at
Questionable play.
Yeah, I think questionable. For those who didn't watch, FEU was up 1. They got the ball back. I think after January Pasaol shot or something. And January got cramps. He was left on the other side of the floor. And then 4 and 5, I think there was around 15 seconds remaining. Salle pushed the ball up, 4 and 5. And Mo Konate fouled Jacob Cortez when they were up 1. And they were in the penalty. So he gifted Jacob Cortez 2 free throws. And Jacob Cortez made 2, went back the other end. Great play by Sean Chambers. Got Jedrick Daa the ball, top of the key. He drove, got a good look at it over, I think it was Jonty Miller, and almost made it. And I think Coach Sean Chambers told Jedrick Daa, he made that simple. He said, yeah, it's okay. That was a good shot. But yeah, a brain fart by Mo Konate. Just to get to the mind of Mo Konate, I think he was thinking he wanted to stop the play because January was on the other end of the floor. He was cramping
4
up.
on 5.
So he wanted to stop the play. Yeah, para walang disadvantage. But I think he...
Instinct yun eh, no? Pag may teammate ka na nasa floor, parang, sige, magfa-foul ako para, stop the play.
To stop the play. But obviously, he did not know the foul situation.
Right.
And ended up giving Salle 2 free throws and eventually the win. Because tama naman si Maui sa chat natin. I mean, you would have taken the 4 and 5 any day than giving them 2 free throws. So,
maybe if you were fouling Mike Phillips, pwede pa. Pero
maybe.
Or Luis Pablo. Luis Pablo.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, si Jacob Cortez may moments siya na he'll miss like 2 straight, 3 straight, ganun. But relatively, he's a good free throw.
Not the game-winning free throws.
Yeah. I think it was obviously a brain fart. I think he did not know how many fouls they had. So I think he thought that he was just stopping the play, but not giving free throws. But he ended up giving free throws. But yeah, this game was actually the best. NSAC's best for us. This was the best game.
Oh, wow.
I think if you were to rank it, it would be just the opposite. FEU Lasal, San Beda Letran, shout out to San Beda Letran. That was an amazing game. And physical. As with all NCAA games, very physical. And then I think you'd put Ateneo UST 3, and I think put the NUUP one as the fourth ranked game. But this FEU Lasal game was like two heavyweights boxing in the ring, just throwing haymaker after haymaker at each other. This game was close. No one could get separation. Play after play, shot after shot, bawi yung kontra bawi. Ang ganda. Both teams, the stars came to play. Kirby Moncopa, I thought, was insanely good. He was insanely good. Even in the fourth quarter, he had some moves that mapapa lean back na lang ako sa couch ko because wow. Just that I do remember he was matched up with Abadam in the post, did the hesitant, then spun baseline and immediately got a layup. Left Abadam in the dusk. He had another double crossover, spin, fadeaway bank shot over JC Makalalag. Incredible.
These are good defenders, by the way. He's scoring over
Grabe.
good defenders.
Grabe yung shot creation.
Yeah, and incredible. I thought they had won this game. He was clearly their best player, offensively at least. And shout out also to Mo Conate. I thought Mo Conate was the better Mo today. Hindi siya nagkulang. And he dominated the paint. There was how many blocks did he have? I counted at least six blocks.
Six. Two
Wow.
still 6 blocks. Wembanyama
He was a
numbers.
beast. Is he the Wemby of the UAAP? Si Mo Conate? But Mo Conate was no entry in the paint for majority of this game, especially with Mo Conate there. He was incredible. John Ray Pasol didn't really have a pretty efficient game. It was mainly si Kirby Moncopa. Si Jed came off the bench and was spectacular. I started, but he was creating more plays. He hit a three, which is once in a blue moon to start this game. He hit a corner three. That's probably the first one, the only one is gonna hit for the next 3 or 4 weeks. So savor that if you're an FEU fan. But we got an extended look at their young guys, and wow, this team is deep.
First time.
This team is so deep. They did not even have Joric Bautista or Luke Felipe playing in this game. And even I think si Ranieses wasn't suited up. So they went 9 deep, and they still have more guys that can play, that are in the rotation. This team is crazy deep with the amount of recruits that they had from their high school ranks. It was crazy to me also that Coach Sean Chambers is calling plays for Cabs Cabonillas to isolate, to run pick and roll. He doesn't do that. He doesn't even do that with Joric. Joric just runs off screens and gets wide open looks off Kirby Moncopa and Janry Pasaol's playmaking. He doesn't even do this with Joric, but now he's doing it with Cabonillas. Maybe just experimenting, but that says something. That says something about how much Sean Chambers trusts Cabs Cabonillas. And if you watch this basketball tournament, you have to remember this guy was a power forward / center for majority of his high school career. And he's
Not look like
I told you guys,
guarding JM Leal in high school.
Yeah. But I told you guys, he's ready to play wing. He's definitely ready. He definitely has the handles. He can shoot. Didn't shoot well here. This did not symbolize it, but he is a pretty decent free throw shooter. But that surprised me. Sam Hall, I gave him good minutes off the bench. Mark Burgos, you gave him good minutes off the bench. I love how deep this this FEU team is. Rojan Montemayor, he hit some big shots. He's getting rotation minutes. Zayn Mahmoud's probably getting a few, his 5 to 10 minutes per game to back up
Big boy minutes.
Yeah. But grabe ang lalim ng FEU team na to. And again, they went toe-to-toe with the De La Salle Green Archers. A full line, even a full +1 lineup of the De La Salle Green Archers because they had Jonty Miller there. So, call me impressed. You might have lost the game. And to all FEU fans there, you might have lost the game, but I think you like what you see. You went toe-to-toe with the De La Salle Green Archers, the defending champions, the De La Salle Green Archers. And Joric and Luke Felipe weren't even there. Joric is a big part of their rotation. It's a big part of the offense. He wasn't even there, and you almost won this game. I think this is a good positive takeaway for the FEU Tamanaos. And I think this is the first time we've seen them play a UAAP team the entire NSAC. I think they've only
Yes.
NCAA teams and
Yep.
they dominated NCAA teams. So for the first time that we're seeing them against UAAP level competition, it looks good.
So kahit talo, Gab, do you think if you pass the test?
Yes, most
Yes.
definitely. They were incredible. Even the young guys. Some mistakes were made, but I think you'll take it that tama si Maui, they do not look like rookies. Cabonillas, even si Sam Hall, si Burgos, they don't look like rookies at all. I think these guys are gonna get minutes. Might not be 15 to 20 minutes, but they're gonna get some minutes in the UAP as rookies. On the De La Salle side, what more can I say? But ang galing ni Jacob Cortez. The passes that this guy was making just continue to impress me, and it makes me think, paano kung nagsabay sila ni KQ, no? Can you imagine the
Grabe.
passes that those guys you would be throwing around the court? Just freaking incredible. Jacob Cortez was amazing. Had 15 points, 11 assists, orchestrating everything for the De La Salle Green Archers. Kudos also to Doy Dungo. I think hit really big threes. Actually, I think he had 2 threes in the clutch. JC Macalalag played great. Luis Pablo held his own against Mo Konate. I think JC Macalalag had a big block on Mo Konate in one of the plays.
Yeah. Grabe yun.
Yung nalala ko yun, it was love to Mo Konate. And JC Macalalag came from the weak side, just blocked it out of bounds. That was
And
incredible.
gave him a look after.
And gave him a look, yeah. Gave him a look also. But this is LaSalle. This is how LaSalle is gonna play, because like Ateneo, they are small, because Mukulang had a good stretch, but they don't trust him enough to play big minutes. And they're gonna have to play majority with either Mason Amos, Seven Agate, or Luis Pablo at center. And they're gonna have to gang rebound. You saw it here. They got a lot of offensive rebounds from guys on the perimeter. They got a lot of blocks from guys on the perimeter from their wings and their guards. That's how they're gonna play. And what a week for the De La Salle Green Archers. A couple of days ago, they won with
Game winner.
a single point from a Mason Amos winner corner 3. And now they won with another 1-point win against an FEU team that's on the rise. What a week. I think despite not having a Mike Phillips replacement, they are still probably the team to beat. They're still pretty good, especially with Jacob Cortez there running the offense, and with the guys, with their wing guys hitting threes and making big plays, the small plays. I think they're still pretty good. Masabi ko. Si Moko lang had a stretch. I didn't mention this. I think he had a stretch in the second quarter. He hit a 3, he had 5 straight points, had 2 big blocks, and then
Pinakitaan ka, bro.
Nakikinig ng Boleros si Mukulang, Gab.
Oh,
Ako,
pero
baka may bago tayong
unfortunately,
commenter, na FSA.
yeah, pero baka siya na yung bagong Omar dyan, no? Pero si Tupex Robinson is obviously not a Boleros listener, because kahit na may good stretch si Mukulang, hindi yan nilaro si Mukulang. Still, I don't think he has the trust of the coaching staff to play big minutes. And they're gonna have to rely a lot on the front line of Kagate, Pablo, and Amos. And a little bit of LeBron Daep. So, still a good win by the De La Salle Green Archers, or at home on their home floor.
Good
They're
point.
moving on to face the UST Growling Tigers, who they just beat. So it was a good test. How are they going to perform against Mo Konate? And giving up only 11 rebounds to Mo Konate, I think, is a win. Because
They won the rebounding battle.
Yeah,
Imagine.
they even won the rebounding battle. So that's going to be their MO. Gang rebounding, hustle plays, running. They run a lot, and that's what they're gonna have to do. Sayang wala pa yung nakita na Ateneo LaSalle matchup so far because I think it's gonna be a scoring
Oo nga, no?
delight. Diba? Both teams play small, they run a lot, and they're gonna points on the board. So hopefully we see it in one of these. I think we're gonna see it in Phil. We're definitely gonna see it because it's a good thing. So hopefully we get a high scoring game that encounter. Maui, go ahead.
Maui.
Yeah. Actually, one of my comments for this game is si Jacob Cortez. Much like Gab, I've been so impressed this offseason because he's showing that he can be a pure point guard also. His playmaking during this game was, even if you just look at the box score, 11 assists and 3 turnovers from a heavy usage guy. That's pretty good. Anytime you get that, you know that this guy contributed a lot. I love how LaSalle has been playing yung supporting cast. I think I've been harping this the whole off season. Makalalag, Abadam, Dungo, and when Manasigan comes back, they will have to be more consistent. More consistent than they were during last season. They will have to play like they were playing when Amos and Baclaan were out last season. Another comment from LaSalle, I thought si Seven Gagate, I think played pretty well also. It's one of the main reasons why si Kulang also hasn't been getting a ton more minutes because Gagate has been holding the fort. For all the hate, the unwarranted hate that he's been getting this offseason, this is like his rookie season in the UAAP because this is actually the only time in the seniors division that he's actually getting minutes to play. When he was in UP, he was only playing garbage minutes. Now he's playing.
Or he was injured.
Yeah, he was injured. Now he's getting minutes that where the game is necessary minutes or crucial minutes. In other words, this LaSalle team still has some I think the scary part about this LaSalle team is they still have some ceiling. Diba? If they can find a better replacement for Kulang, if maybe Agonane gets healthy, if Marasigan gets healthy, they still have a way, they can still get better a lot. So I think they are definitely probably the team to beat along with UP still for this coming season. I like how si Pablo continues to be a menace on both ends of the floor. I love this guy will have a long pro career. I will bet on it. He's just effective on both ends of the floor and very low maintenance. He doesn't need the ball to be effective. I think that's the main thing for Pablo. But when he gets the ball, he can also create as a facilitator and as a drive to the basket.
Last season, Maui, diba? Kasi kung kalaban niya UP, bigla siya nagkaka-ball creation skills.
Yeah, and I think si Seven Gagate is the first guy to tell you that this guy can create and play make. A lot of his baskets during the off-season have been from Luis Pablo. But on the FEU side, unlike Gab and Sam, this is probably my first time to see the young guns, the rookies, and I was blown away. I think that's even an understatement. I was blown away how effective these guys were. Si Sam Hall did not look like a rookie point guard. Cabonillas did not look like a rookie. Getting plays called out for himself, getting isolation plays. Si Burgos was steady. This team is, I think, very scary for this coming season. If they can put it all together, they could probably be a championship contender. They have that ceiling. I think that's what they showed. They have that ceiling. Simon Copa looks like a different beast this offseason. He hasn't looked like a power forward. He has looked like a wing or guard this offseason. His averages that show it. 18, 9, and 4 in Asiabasket. Diba? You could say that he was dominating NCAA teams. But today, dominated the LaSalle team. the defending champions. And it's crazy to say that they had the MVP last season, but he's not the best player on the floor for this team. I think that just shows how crazy the ceiling of this FEU team. We did, as Gab mentioned, si Bautista wasn't even here today. Even si Montemayor and Daa surprised me today. Montemayor's stroke looks more refined. Daa looks more confident driving to the basket. Nowhere to go but up. No pun intended. For FEU. No pun
They don't want
intended.
to
Tama na yan, tama na yan. Natitrigger yung mga FEU fans eh. Maui, it's just one game against a UAAP team, but are you putting FEU as a lock in the Final Four? With
Ako, it
how
would be
you
crazy.
saw it?
I think Sean Chambers will be fired if they don't get to the Final Four. Let's put it bluntly. I think they have the potential to be championship contenders for next season. They have the depth. They have veterans. They have players on all positions. They finally have capable shooters. They have more ball creators.
They have the MVP.
They have the MVP. Diba? They have young guys who will surprise. I think si Cabonillas, Burgos, and Sam Hall were pleasant surprise today. Again, si Gab mentioned si Raneses, who Sam Hall was backing up, didn't even play today. So, still a lot of ceiling for this team, and I think they are for real. I think that's my key takeaway for today. FEU is a Final Four contender for real, and it would be crazy if they did not make it to the Final Four this season, I would say.
Gab, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, with this talented roster, I think they're a lock for the Final Four. And again, yung tama si Maui, they should be calling for Sean Chambers' heads if they don't make it to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Oh, go.
Sabi ko nga kanina, di ba sa chat natin, this is the most fresh I've seen Konate in 2 seasons after a game. That just shows
Maui,
yung nila, added
I was
30
gonna
plus
say
minutes pa rin
something.
siya.
Hindi, nga, Maui, he looks fresh, but you look at the box score, he still played 35 minutes.
Crazy.
Well, that's low compared to 40 minutes that he usually plays.
League leader in minutes played the past 2 seasons. The past 2 seasons. Crazy.
Grabe naman si... do you think we're ever gonna see Montel play FEU uniform with how well Bukonate is playing?
Probably not.
Siguro pagkalaan magpahinga ni Konate.
Maganda din yung actually, one of my comments a while ago was they really played well when they went on that mong Copa, Burgos, and Cabonillas lineup. Gang rebounding, all wings, very versatile lineup. I think it's one of the reasons why si Mahmoud only played 5 minutes. Talagang backup lang ni Konate. I don't think he will get more minutes outside of that. Maybe if Konate gets into foul trouble. I love the dynamic of Burgos and Cabonillas. Even Cabonillas was unselfish. He could have went up straight for a contested layup during that.
Pinasa pa niya no, kay Burgos.
But he passed it to Burgos. Diba? That's how much they trust each other.
Yeah. Ganda din kasi ng size nila no? So they can really do the gang rebounding.
All wings.
All wings. Yeah. Only wings.
Maui was rushing, diba? For those wins. Siguro some other notes. Yeah, yung kay Mo Konate, he looked like they were deep, but 35 minutes. The other thing, I think Cabs Cabonillas got his welcome to the UAAP moment because at the end of the first half, he was matched up on Jacob Cortez, and Jacob Cortez gave him a nasty crossover step back 3, and that left Cabs Cabonillas on skates. So I think he's gonna remember that. It was one of the first times he got cooked by the best point guard in UAP. So that's one thing.
All right. So I think that's it for our recap. I think it would be interesting. By the way, shout out kay Navs because I think in a recent interview with Akoe shouted out Mason Amos as one of the best big man defenders. So it's going to be LaSalle versus UST in the semis. So watch out for that.
I forgot to say, Collins hit 2 threes.
Oo nga. Nandun sa chat, pinapag-usapan nyo. He hit 2 threes. Attempted what? Like 4 threes ba? He attempted
And I was
more.
and he hit 1 free you previously in their St. Clair game. Imagine if he starts
2 of
taking
3. 2 of 3.
Parang sa
imagine
Andre
if he starts
Drummond
taking more threes.
Pangit pa free throw pero nagkaka 3-point shot na.
Andre Drummond.
There are times na decent free throw shooting eh. But imagine if Collins starts stretching
Wala
the
na, game
floor.
over.
It's
GG.
game over. How are you defending that? How is anyone defending that? That's crazy. He's already unstoppable inside. He's gonna make shoot threes. Man. Sana naman wag, Collins. Yung maawa ka naman sa rest of the league. Jesus.
3-point shootout. Bongo Akoe. Yun yung 3-point shootout.
Uy, grabe ka naman
I might be
kay
taking
Bongo.
Collins ako eh. I might be taking
They,
Collins ako eh.
they hit a couple. They were good today. Bongo and ako hit threes today. So
I will
I'm
go
just
for
saying.
Bongo pa rin. Psychological na yan, bro.
Okay, that's it for today's episode. Don't forget, we'll cover more of Asiabasket UAAP games in the upcoming weeks and the Phil Oil upcoming competition. Medyo weird lang schedule, I think. It's I think June na yung next if I'm not mistaken. So stay tuned for that. We're also, if you haven't checked out some of our videos yet, we're also doing NBA playoff content. Spurs versus OKC, New York versus Cleveland. We'll talk about the conference, our reactions to the conference finals soon. If you haven't yet, please like this video, share with your friends, comment down below your thoughts on the Asiabasket games. We'll see you again next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye. Ingat. #free rin.